Hey everyone, this is Qriket and Corky's Clubhouse coming at you live from the doll room, aka my clubhouse. And I wanted to make a video I've been meaning to do for a while. This isn't scripted, so who knows what's going to go. and we're going to see what we come up with. But I wanted to do a video just about the different boxes that the Playmates Talking Doll series came in, and also just all the accessories and the boxes and just kind of all the other parts. I've made videos with Qriket, Corky, and Jill, and they all are the star of the show, but I haven't really shown any of the little accessories and other parts. So that's kind of what this video is going to be about, just so you kind of know what you're looking for if you're starting out collecting or you're just looking for bits and pieces. When I started, it's been about 2 years. I didn't really know much about any of them. My origins of how this started was actually with Corky up top there. I'm a big Child's Play fan, and growing up in that time period, I wanted a good guy doll very much as a child. I had Teddy Ruxpin, and my cousin had My Buddy. And I'm the crazy kid that wanted the good guy doll. Not necessarily Chucky, but the talking good guy doll that Andy got at the beginning before he turned bad. So fast forward, much later in life, and it's during the pandemic, and I'm watching the Scream Factory, Shout Factory version of Child's Play. And they did a really extensive documentary, and they talked about their inspiration for the good guy doll, and it came from, I thought, My Buddy, and some of it was My Buddy, but the majority of it came from Corky. And I don't know if I'd ever seen Corky, or I'd forgotten about him. So I immediately was like obsessed with who Corky was and how he was voiced by Eden Gross, who did the same voice for the good guy doll. So Corky was the very first Playmates doll I got. And then at the time, I didn't know anything about the other parts to it. And then I learned, he had a sister, Qriket. And I remember Qriket. I don't remember Corky or Jill, but I remember Qriket. She was really big. But at the time, I was like, I don't want Qriket. I just want Corky. But I ended up getting my first Corky, and he came with Qriket. So the lady was selling them, I think, for like $10, and they were just so gross and beat up and old. But she was like, here, you can just have Qriket. And I was like, okay. So then that started the Qriket craze. And then upon research, I found out about Jill. Didn't know she existed either. And it just kind of spun from there. But since I didn't really know anything about it, I didn't know how to piece together what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to try to get all the different outfits and accessories for both. And I actually wrote Playmates, funny enough, and just to see what information they had. And they were nice enough to at least send me a marketing brochure from the 80s, and it had a lot of the outfit pieces in there. So that's kind of what I had to do, is I had to piece things together. You really don't see a lot of the boxed outfits. I mean, they're out there, but you just don't see a lot of them. So I was literally going by what was in the brochure. And then I found out, of course, later on the hard way, that a lot of the pictures are prototypes. They're promos, so they were used for the photographs, but they don't necessarily actually come out that way in production. So I was looking for things that didn't exist. I was looking for altered things that just didn't come out that way. So that's kind of what this video is, to show you what is actually out there and what you need to look for. I now, of course, have everything new and in boxes, but for a long time, I was just looking for particular hair ribbons. I originally went to the fabric store and tried to recreate Qriket's little pink yarn ribbons. Fun fact, they don't make that ribbon anymore. So it's like a really thick yarn. So you can special order it off Etsy, which is what I originally did to get the red. But now everything is original. I don't think I have anything else that has been reproduced in my collection. All right, well, I have babbled on enough, almost at 5 minutes already, and I haven't even started, so let's get going. I'm going to start with Qriket, because Qriket's kind of where it all began anyway. So I'm going to show her different boxes. She has the most, so be prepared if you want to fast forward to get to Corky or Jill. but she has the most. I'm going to show different variations because I'm a weird collector like that. So I noticed the variations. I don't know why things were changed, but they were just little tiny things. But I'm going to point all those out too. All right. So here is one Qriket box. Oh, good. She's there. You might hear squeaking from the chair. I'm sitting in a chair and I might have to get down on the floor in a minute. But here's a box. Qriket, she speaks for herself through the magic of kinetics. Her mouth moves with every word and her eyes look all around. 30-minute Qriket cassette tape is included. So what you're seeing on the box, remember I was telling you about the prototypes? That is definitely a prototype. Qriket does not look like that. But it's so subtle that you kind of know that that's not what she looks like, but it's hard to really pinpoint the differences. But obviously, the Qriket that came out doesn't quite look like that. I've never actually seen the prototype in person, but I'm sure they exist. It's got the stock number on the bottom, 25 inches, Playmates. Side, we've got the same picture, kind of the same information. And then we got the back, and this is the original stuff that came out for Qriket. So you see her up there with that little girl in a promotional photo shoot, and she is sitting in her actual Qriket director's chair, which we'll get to here in a second. But I'm just going to point through some of the things. So here, healthcare plan. It literally, if I'm reading this right, it says you can send in a membership card, which I'll show you, or an application, and they send it back and you get a little membership card with your name on it. But then what I think is interesting, I've never seen, is that if she broke, you were able to send her away to get repaired, and she was supposed to return to you with a hospital gown and a bracelet on. Never seen a physical version of that anywhere in 2 years. So don't know if they actually did that or not. But that's what it advertised. So then you have Qriket's director's chair, which I'll talk about in a minute because there was 2 different versions. They came out with sneakers for Qriket. These were sold separately. They did not come with the doll. All the dolls came in the pink shoes. And then down below are the outfits, and then the tapes. I'm going to go through the outfits a little bit later because these are the prototype outfits. These aren't exactly what came out. Just to give an example, I'll go ahead and do the prototype for the original outfit. Obviously, look how huge this bow is. Didn't happen. Also, the sneakers here, you notice they have the bottom is painted white and it has Qriket in bigger letters. That also was changed. They are pink on the bottom and have a round circle. And then with alterations for the original shoes, originally they all have the little Qriket logo, which easily comes off. But also there's a circle in the bottom, and for whatever reason, some of the shoes just had, like here, it just had a sticker for Qriket, and I found that sticker on the bottom. I found it on the side. I don't know if you had to put them on or they came that way. But later on, all the Qrikets actually had a medallion put in, made of fabric, and it actually says Qriket on the bottom. And it's silver. And those, I'm assuming, again, I don't have 100% fact, but I think those came later. Also, her hair is a little different. I didn't know at first. It looks like she has a lot of little like sausage curls here, but I have gotten several brand new sealed Qrikets and opened them, and she came with 3 sausage curls on each side. So this is a little different. Also, one point out, I think this is funny. She is standing in all of these photos. There is no doll stand. So my best guess is that she's not real. It was probably just made of foam so she could stand there, because with the cassette player, she's way too heavy, and she has like a cloth plush bottom. You can't stand the doll like that without a stand. And then even with the stand, it's difficult because it's heavy. All right, so that's the original box. Let's see if I can, this one's heavier. Let's see if I can swap it out. It's heavier because there's actually a Qriket still in here. I just have too many Qrikets and I don't need them. So she's just in her box still. So here's the second box. You'll notice it's almost identical, except now, you see they had a little more information. Her logo changed. Originally, you see down here, it's just the dot, and then they eventually started putting her little Qriket logo in on all of her merch. I think everything else on the front is the same. Isn't this funny? How, look, there's a price tag for $69.97, and then eventually it was on clearance for $39.97. So I think they just overproduced Qriket. All right, so here's a change. The box here is the same, except now it says additional tapes, books, and costumes available. Use alkaline batteries only, patent pending. So they added this basically for advertising, saying, hey, there is more stuff to get. Because now, when you look at the back, it's completely different. There is no advertising really for the merch. So it's just Qriket now. I don't know if maybe people thought that those items were in the boxes in there with Qriket. You know, if you're a kid, hey, look, she comes with all this stuff, and then you open the box and none of it's there. So I'm guessing, as I'm going to do a lot in this video, that maybe that's why they pulled that off, just from what I know about marketing. But basically now it just talks about Qriket here, talks about the things you can get for her, and then here's kind of some bullet points. Now they're really simplified what Qriket is and what she can do. And they just took that picture that was on the other box and shrunk it down in the corner, just to show a human girl with the doll. I guess maybe for height or size comparison. And then I still talk about that same healthcare plan down here. This is an actual Qriket now, so you'll notice the bow is shorter now. The shoes don't have the white around the rims. The hair is still broken up. The only thing I think of is maybe when you got her and she had the 3 sausage curls, you were supposed to break them up into more, because little kids were supposed to do her hair. Not sure. All right, so that is it. That is the second box for Qriket. I don't have the third box, but when she was made over in the foreign market, Matchbox took over. So it's the exact same box, except it has Matchbox on there. And the only other box I have for Qriket is the second version of the African American Qriket. Very hard enough to find African American Qriket to begin with, but to find her box is just almost impossible. I'm just going to tell you that. I've seen very few, and this is the only one I have, and it drives me nuts that this just is right here. I mean, literally, it's just so nice everywhere, and then right across her face there's to be a big rip. I'm guessing maybe this was a gift, and you know, when you put the wrapping paper on, they put the tape. I think when the kid ripped it open, it just ripped off some of that. But this is the second generation of African American Qriket. You see in the back there the Qriket up top wearing the medical doctor's lab outfit. That's the original Qriket, so she had the curlier, shorter hair. And from what I've been able to gather from researching is that they changed her hair to the one you see below with the pigtails, that looks more like the blonde Caucasian Qriket. Because kids, when Corky came out the following year, kids got confused with the African American Corky and the Qriket, that they look the same. I can see a difference in them. I mean, they don't even have the same eyes, but maybe from a marketing standpoint, kids couldn't. So they changed her. So this is the second box for the second generation. She looks just like the blonde Caucasian. She has the pigtails, the straight hair. A difference that she has, though, is that maybe there was an issue with the original. Let's see. Yeah, she's got it on down there. So the rain outfit. Actually, she doesn't. Nope, she's up top there. So the one behind the one in the chair. They changed her sweater. So the original one was an actual sweater, like knitted sweater, and I think maybe it was just tearing up. You know, kids are rough, and it was getting unraveled and ripped. So they went to a velour velvety material that's way more sturdy. The only problem is that it is very hard to find one in good condition because the material didn't work out as well, and the inks they used, the dye, didn't work over time. I'm sure they weren't expecting things to be, 30-something years old. But a lot of them, they're faded and they're brown and dingy. That one looks nice because I found her new. So it's still intact. So it's just up there as an example. I actually prefer the knitted one. I think it gives her more character. But this one, she has the velour. This is where that started. I haven't ever seen a Qriket with velour on. I don't know. I mean, sorry, a blonde Caucasian Qriket. So I don't know if they just continued on with her or what that was about. But this box quickly is just pretty much the same. I mean, it's got the same logo. The back's the same. Here it is. This is the velour I was talking about. But everything else is the same. They did change the picture down here because, you know, God forbid back in the 80s you had a white girl playing with the African American doll. So, you know, they made it with a little girl of color, which, I mean, I think is cute because for everyone I've talked to, I think that's important, is that they could look and identify with the picture and say, I want this doll. They could have done better, but I guess at the time, that's what we got. So those are the Qriket boxes. Let me move these out of the way. So like I said, Qriket had a lot. So I'm going to try to get over here and show you everything she had. But before I leave the box world, I did want to show you. So she came with a couple things. So she came with, I guess I'll show this first. This is her operating and caring for Qriket. So this taught you how to take care of her. And then she came with her own little story. It's not labeled, it's just Qriket, call it the original tape. And then there was originally a little book, The World of Qriket, in here, advertising. And it's just those outfits, the prototype outfits. And then this is her healthcare plan. It talks about everything. So how to operate her, how to take care of her. There's the warranty and whatnot. So looks like I see perforation here. So originally the piece that you sent in for the warranty was attached here, and you rip that off and it was, you know, postmarked. You just send it, put it in the mail. I'm sure I have some somewhere, but this one doesn't have it. Okie doke. Qriket. Ooh, where do we begin? All right. We're going to go down. You're coming with me. Sorry, Clip. Okay, let me move Corky out of the way for a minute. I'll get to Corky in a second here. Stay. Okay. All right. Sorry for the just earthquake that just happened. All right, so Qriket had, I guess we'll start here with her. This is her chair. But funny enough, this is the second version of her chair. Qriket had two versions. Same chair, but I think they got smart again with the production. So, moving some of this. So, here's the original chair back here. You notice it doesn't have the Qriket on top there. Let's see if I can get this out without tearing something up. Just want to pull the box out. All right. So you notice the box is much wider, shorter. Here we go. So that's actually the back. So this is the original one. So basically what happened was when you opened it, it was literally just the chair. The chair does not fold, does not come apart. You just open the box and there was the chair. Nothing to it. These chairs are problematic, especially now because they're old. So I find a lot of them broken or yellowed. The seats have faded. I mean, they're just usually in really bad condition. But I think a lot of the reason that some of them are broke is they probably were broke way back then because kids thought they could fold them, but you can't. So they were just bulky and in the way. But it's just simple box design. It's got the same girl that was on the other one. And then later they came out with, when Corky came out, they came out with the second version, which I like more. You actually have to put this one together so you can take it apart. And I think the picture is really nice. I like that. I would do a setup like that if I had more space. But it's just visually more appealing. Same girl. Yeah, there she is. They just kept using that same stock image. So I think this one's still in there. I'm not going to get one out. You've seen her chair. If you really want to see one, so I'm not going to pull the one out of that chair. But if you really want to see one, I'll show you one when I get to Jill, because I have an old one sitting over there that has a Jill in it. But basically, That's what they look like new in the box. So it's just chair basically pops together, you put a pin in it, voila. All right, when we get to Corky, you'll see he has an identical box almost. All right, so now the bulk of Qriket, of course, is her clothes, tapes, and accessories. Ooh, let's see. So those are the books out of the box. I'll show you. I'm not going to go through all these, but basically this is what they look like new in the box. I don't think some of these are new. I think they've been opened, but at least they were stored. So the original tapes, again, you always can tell because the Qriket isn't on the eye. So here's one of the originals. They didn't really change too much over time other than the back, but those are the original outfits, again with the prototype dolls. And there's all that same stuff we saw on the original box. So those are the original tapes and books they came with, the shoes, and the outfits. So I have most of these. Well, I have all the originals. I have multiples. They're not hard to find. But see how some of them are just opened. I don't really care that much. Let's go up Qriket. So later, when they came out with the second series, I don't have those. I have had the option to get them, but I just don't feel the need, and I really don't have the space. But I do have the books. So Qriket, and of course the tapes. You've heard most of them. Qriket Goes to Spain. Qriket Special Surprise. Qriket Goes to the Circus. And last but not least, Qriket Visits the Zoo. This is the one you have not heard because I have yet to find an original tape. I had a copy, but it was a bootleg, and I just feel like you guys deserve more than to listen to a bootleg when we're trying to preserve Qriket. So eventually I will find the tape and I will record it. But I do have the book. And then here are all the original books. So just to look through a book, I know some people have been curious. They don't follow the story that well. They're more just children's books, activity books. So you open one up. But other than just being a prop, I don't really have a reason to do anything with them. Well, shadow will just have to do. But they've got like kind of some simple artwork. And again, it's just something for you to do while you play along. It shows you how to do arts and crafts. How to, there's like puzzles, mazes, just a bunch of different stuff. And it's going to not cooperate with me. But not really enough information for me to make video out of. You can't follow along with it really while the story's going on. It's just a book. An activity book. But there's what they look like. And they're all a little different, obviously themed towards whatever the tape is. All right. Move that over. Okay. So while we're on the lines of the tapes, though, I did want to point out towards the end they did come out with two other larger, actually three, I guess, larger items that came with tapes, which you have heard now. This is Qriket's Favorite Games. It's a board game, and it's pretty simple to play, but you play the tape along with the board game, which if you look at my videos, you will find that. And then back behind these outfits, there is Cooking with Qriket. I'm not going to get that out because it's a giant box and it's beat up really bad. But again, that is up for watch. Basically, it's a cookbook and she goes through some of her favorite recipes. Now something, before I get to that, the third one I was mentioning that goes to Shadow Kitty there. I have only seen a picture of the box. I know it exists. I have never ever seen one for sale. There's not even any that have sold. I've literally just seen an advertisement picture of the box, and it's square like that original chair box. So all I have is the cat, but she did come with the bowl, the brush, and the tape and all that good stuff. The only other accessory that doesn't get into the clothing world that I don't have the box for, because again, I've had two opportunities to get it in the box, but people want $60, $70 for it, and I just don't feel that it's worth that. But this is Qriket's sleeping bag. It kind of, in the image on the box, it shows the bedtime Qriket. But this is basically sleeping bag slash duffel bag holder. So if you're going to have a slumber party, you can bring all your favorite Qriket accessories. I'm going to try to open this with one hand. The Velcro is struggling with me here. Basically, it turns into, see right now it's a bag. So you put all the clothes in there. All right, there we go. And it turns into a sleeping bag. So you slide Qriket down in there, and then she can lay on this fabric. It looks like there's like little pastel rainbows and clouds. It's kind of yellowed with age, but yeah, so this is her sleeping bag. Corky has one as well, which I do have two in the box. So we'll pull his out in a little bit. Okay, clothing. Remember we talked about the shoes, the sneakers, how they came individual. So here is a pair. They came in their own little boxes. You had to buy them separately. They did not come with the dolls. They did come with matching little socks though, and they have like this little plastic tube in there that holds them for display. But there they are again. There's 4 different pair. There's yellow, there's like a lavender, there's like a pastel blue, and then red. Not to be confused with Corky shoes, because they're almost identical, except Corky shoes are just solid red, and if you find a pair that has the outline to them, that is Qriket's pair, because a lot of times that little Qriket will fall off the side there. It's literally just glued on. But they all came with matching socks. I only have 2, and I actually just recently got these. I see them a lot in Europe for some reason online, but I'm not paying that much for them. But I have the yellow pair, which has been opened and it's missing a plastic thing, and then I have the blue pair. All right, outfits. There's a lot of outfits. So most of them are in good condition, except for this one. But since it's on the top, because it's so messed up, we'll start here. So here is what is this, party time for Qriket. So just to kind of show you like what it all came with, again, so you can look for these things. So it came with the satin top with a bow, came with a little purse that you can't really do anything with, and it came with this silver and blue hair ribbon thing. And then of course the tape, and there's a little advertisement book on the inside. Hard to see here, but this is a pair of lace leggings. So that completed the outfit. Now, if you look at the back, this is kind of fun because it has its own individual image that hasn't been seen anywhere else, which is kind of cool. Again, we're going back to those prototype dolls, so they did all this back when they originally released these outfits. Trying to see for her outfit, it's pretty spot on. They didn't really change much. You do see they use the different color shoes that you had to buy extra. She never hardly has the pink shoes on. But this one pretty much stayed the same. There's that original African-American Qriket. And that's the prototype version. I don't have the box for her. She doesn't look anything like the actual Qriket that came out. She's pretty cool. But I would love to find her box eventually. But it's hard enough just to find that Qriket. All right, but I'll go through all these as we move through the different outfits. Okay. They're probably not going to be in order, so I might have to dig a little bit. Okay, there is sleepy time for Qriket. So she has her pajama top. Am I sleepy or what? She has 2 very detailed double laced bows here. And my favorite thing, probably out of all the accessories, is she has a pair of bunny slippers. They don't really stay on her feet very well. So here they are. They fall off very easy. And of course her tape. She doesn't have any bottom or anything to her, just the pajama. And again, there we get a really cool image that's not really used anywhere else. And she doesn't have her sleeping bag there, but again, this might be before it was made because these are the prototypes. So there's the prototype again. Not much has changed on her as well. So she's pretty much the same as she is in the box. What is this on top there? Price tag from Toys R Us for $15.97. Okay. This is a newer one. We'll save that one. Here is Qriket's Time for Health. Qriket's Time for Health and Exercise. Again, one of those original outfits. Am I fit or what? It's made of like a poofy, like, I don't know what kind of material, the word's escaping me right now, like felt. But it came with a headband, which is very 80s, and I love it, and a pair of pants. So, pretty simple outfit. Let's see what we get on the back. So, there she is, doing her thing. You see she has on the blue sneakers. I do think it's interesting that, and I tried to mimic some of this, is that her hair, they changed her hair. So you notice here it's like really flat and pushed down by the braid. I actually didn't care for that look because it just looks forced. So you see I actually just kind of poofed her hair up and put it underneath, and I also added the little scrunchies that come with this outfit. I don't know if I saw those somewhere, but it didn't make sense because there was nothing covering up her bands for her hair. But as far as prototype goes, she's pretty much the same, other than obviously the color is much darker. It's like a royal blue versus that lighter pastel blue that is out in the production. And she has blue shoes on. Okay. Now, remember I talked about variations? There is some of those in the outfits as well. So this is School Time, and it comes with same kind of material that the exercise one is made of. It's like a fluffy felt material, and it's a little more detailed, this one. It comes with plaid skirt, actual snapping suspenders, 2 red yarn bows for the hair, and for the first time ever, specific socks. These socks have little hearts on them. So I thought you got a lot for bang for your buck out of this outfit. Is school fun or what? Now, I apologize, I do not have the alternate version sitting here. I have it somewhere, but basically, for some reason or not, for whatever reason, they changed the skirt. So there's this version of the skirt, but there's also one that's more red. It's got a lot more red in it, and it's tighter plaid. It's not as big as this one. And mine is covered up there, so you can't see her. Yeah, but this is the one that was in the photo. So again, we have a unique photo of her interacting with the child. And then we do see another change here. So, we talked about prototypes. This is a pretty big one. So some of the difference is she has a thinner, I don't know if that's like a ribbon in her hair, but it's not the yarn. She has different socks, and she has those prototype shoes on with the white bottoms. But then also, this threw me for a loop. She had a big necklace. She has a whole like necklace here with like little rainbow rings on it. You also see it over here on the African American prototype, and she does not come with that. Later on, Jill, the big sister, she actually did come, an outfit had a necklace, but it's not that one. But I don't know, for whatever reason, they decided not to produce that. Getting towards the bottom, at least with the first wave. That's the second one. Here we go. All right. So the most problematic of all of Qriket's outfits is this one. Time for outdoor fun. This is supposed to be her rain gear outfit. So she has on a yellow poncho. She comes with like it's fabric, but I think it's supposed to be like denim pants. She has leggings, like authentic leggings, which are hilarious. And there's those little scrunchies. So it's very 80s. The problem with this outfit, and I'm sure if I pulled this out, this would happen. This material, this shiny, they made it look wet look, did not age well. So if you were to pull this out right now, it would start crumbling in your hands. The paint just starts flecking off. It gets everywhere, and it's ridiculous. So yeah. The first one I had just literally fell apart, and this one, even though it's never even been out of the box, you can see where it's wrinkled here. It is starting to fall apart. Now I have one up here, and I had to get this one. I had to purchase another one, a whole brand new one. I had to open this, and even when I was pulling it out of the box, everywhere here that it's folded and touching was literally stuck together and peeling off the paint. It was a nightmare. So what I did is I got Hodgepodge. I got that glue that you can get at the craft store, and I literally sprayed the whole jacket multiple times. Like, it took several days. I would spray it and I would let it dry and I would spray it again. And it hasn't 100% fixed the problem, but it definitely has slowed it down to the point where I'm not scared to touch it. But yeah, it's not great. I wish they had come up with a different material. Like, speaking of, the prototype. I don't know why they didn't do this. If I could just go back in time and tell them to fix it. But this is the prototype, and the big difference is she definitely has a different jacket. So she has a clear, like just a satiny jacket. If they had made that, we would have absolutely no problems here. Look, it even has the little logo on there. That would have been a great jacket, but they chose to do this other way. I imagine because they wanted to make it look wet and slick, which it does, but we wouldn't have this problem. So if you ever get this one and you want to open it, just beware that it's going to fall apart. It's not just mine. I've had multiple. They're all the same way. All right. Put that one up here. That leads me to the last one, which for me has been a fail. And you're going to see it right here. Yeah, you see it. Nothing in there. Indoor Playtime. This set has eluded me not once, but twice. So I have bought this thinking that it was new in the box both times, and both times it was open. And when I mean open, I mean they're falling apart. The glue's old, but like literally they opened and had taken it off of the back. Everything is supposed to be like screwed and tied on there, and there's like little strings, and yeah, they've been open. Now this one was new. You could tell it had never been worn, so there it is up there. But I went ahead and put it on her because I was like, what's the point? So anyway, later down the road, I found another one, and same thing. I thought it was completely new and intact, and when I got it, things were just sliding around everywhere. So I've yet to find this one. Boo. I'm just kind of really tired of buying them because, meh. But all right, moving on. So on the back, again, prototype and another unique picture. So she has a little bit of change there. Basically, in the box there, she has this sweater with a purple bunny eating a carrot for whatever reason. And then there's a bow on the bunny. Oddly, I don't know why they put it there, but that's where it goes. And then she has this big poofy huge ribbon in her hair. She has stockings on, and then she has little purple socks. So she actually came with the socks. She came with all of that. The stockings were not those, though. They're the ones that are used in the party time, so they're lace stockings, and the bow and overall all of that is just a darker shade of purple, except for the socks. The socks are lighter. But the weird thing is, and I have to find photos of it, I don't know if it's in an advertisement or what, but here she doesn't have any shoes on because the whole point is she's supposed to be indoors lounging. So she just has socks on. So I found later there's a picture with her wearing the purple shoes because no other Qriket has purple shoes in any advertisement of anything. So I'm like, why did they even make them? So she had on the purple shoes, but I ultimately went back to taking them off because I think the socks are fun, and I think that's more to the point of the outfit. So the purple lavender shoes aren't on. I think I added them to, added them to the wedding outfit because you can't actually see the shoes anyway, but I just wanted them up there. Another thing is her hair is very different. They went with a side ponytail, as you see, so it's all to the side and curled. I also did that same with my Qriket just to change it up. Kind of hard to see from here, but it was nice to not have the two pigtails. All right, so that was the bulk of the main outfits. And then 3 more outfits came out before Qriket was shut down. And we're going to show those now, the ones that have been following this whole time. So this is Qriket Goes to the County Fair. It's supposed to be her country outfit, so it's like a red gingham, like picnic table pattern with little hearts. She has overalls that are supposed to look like denim, and she has 2 big, giant red satin ribbons that go in her hair. For variations, I think it's interesting. I think this is the second version to come out because I've only seen it once or twice, but the version I have is actually denim. So they originally made them in actual jean material, and I don't know if it was too expensive or whatever the reason was, but they pulled that real quick, and the majority of the ones you see are this blue fabric that's supposed to look like denim, I guess. I'll stick with the actual denim. But here we are now. You see they've completely changed the back. Now we're actually looking at the Qriket and not the prototype Qriket. So this is nice because this is what they're actually supposed to look like. But then, you know, again, there's some changes with things. But here's this Qriket. Now, since they're not prototypes, we're on par with where we should be. She's got the right red shoes on. She's got the socks with the little ruffle, and she has the ribbons in her hair. So all the other ones you notice, like she's lost the necklace, like this is the actual jacket. So now we're dealing with what we're actually supposed to deal with, except for they took the blonde Caucasian Qriket out and put the African American in there. And I'm not doing that to mine's hair. I don't want to like squish it because it'll permanently have that band around it. All right, so that's that one. And then this is the ugliest thing she has is Qriket Goes to a Wedding, and it is just hideously 80s. It is like a pink, purple, pastel color with all this like Swiss polka dot lace. And there's all these flowers. She has 2 big flower and lace things for her hair. She comes with a bouquet. Here she is, all dolled up there. But like I said, you can't see her shoes. But I mean, this outfit is just massive. It's way too big for her. So when you try to set her up, it's just completely engulfs her body. It's like a big satiny potato sack, but whatever, there it is. And again, we don't have to spend a lot of time here because it's literally exactly what you see here. See, no feet, she's just hovering around there. But there is that outfit. And then the last outfit is Qriket Tours the Hospital. Now, this one, this was a very interesting one because I think they should have added more. It's very simple. So it's literally just a lab coat, and it comes with a little thermometer, a stethoscope, and one of those little things that you test your joints on your knees with, little hammers. No, actually, you know what? I think I've never really looked at this too much. I apologize. I think that's one of those where they look in your ear with the little lights. I don't know, whatever. But that's all it came with. So I'm like, no, you couldn't have come with like a little clipboard or some pants or anything, but there it is. But there isn't, again, with the different versions, the alternate version, I don't know which one came first, but the stethoscope changed. So there's this stethoscope, which is the one I have on my doll, and then I recently got this one, which has a very different stethoscope. Same outfit, everything else is identical, except I like the stethoscope better, but I'm not going to open it to get it out. But whatever reason, that was changed. And again on the back, so that's actually, like, I tried to base my dolls off of what these look like, so that's my one original African American Qriket. I put her in that outfit, and she has a different stethoscope than she is up top. Whew, that is almost everything made for Qriket. The only other 2 things I have are, she came out with 2 VHS tapes. So there is Qriket's Clubhouse and Qriket Around the World of Qriket. So I actually have an old VCR and I pulled it out to watch these, and it's very crude animation. But what's funny is it's literally the story. It is the tape played out to animation. So when you watch the video, it's the exact same cassette recording, and they just basically put motion to it, and you get visual context of the people she's talking to and whatnot. But they only did 2, and there they are. You can find them fairly simple. The only other thing I've ever seen is there's like a birthday book, like an activity coloring book, which I don't have. But that's pretty much it for Qriket. I don't think I'm missing anything. Now, I'm actually going to stop this video because it is 45 minutes long. Can you believe I have been talking about Qriket for 45 minutes? So I think I am going to change my mind and split this into a 3-part series, because if you are hanging with me after 45 minutes, then you are a true Qriket fan and a trooper. So I'm going to end this video so I can get it uploaded, and then I will do a complete separate video on Corky, which won't be as long, and Jill, which won't be as long. But Qriket just has so much stuff because she was the star. There would be no Corky and there would be no Jill without Qriket, because Qriket is where all the money came from. It is sad that she ended. So I've had someone recently ask. I posted in the original video for Jill, but Qriket was doing well. She had been copied. I see you over there, Patty Play Pal. She had been copied by multiple doll manufacturers. She was well on her way with more books and series and tapes. And then when Jill flopped, Jill was so expensive and problematic that it almost caused the whole company to go bankrupt. So instead of just getting rid of Jill, they discontinued all the talking dolls. So Qriket met her end because of Jill. And same for Corky. And he really makes me sad because he deserved more. He has so few things, and he could have had so many great outfits. Like he could have had a little cowboy outfit. He could have had like a Navy outfit. I don't know. There's just so many different ideas that they could have spawned with Corky. And that never happened because of Jill. Also, these two were supposed to talk. You might see an advertisement where there's something called a chatterbox that was never made, doesn't exist. Talked to Playmates about it. They didn't produce it, but basically it was supposed to be like, have you ever heard of Teddy, Ruxpin, and Grubby, where you can plug them together and they interact together? That's what these two are going to do. So it was a little lunchbox, and you plugged it into the back of Corky and the back of Qriket and into the lunchbox, and they had their own special tape that you could play where they could interact. I think I have a picture of it over here. So Corky came with, and actually Qriket did too, with a more modern book, the dolls later on, but they have the advertisement. I think it's in here. Trying to look. Oh, yep, there it is. So that's the chatterbox that never came out. So very confusing when you're a new collector, because you see this and you go, oh, wow, that's cool. And then I never can find one. Well, it's because they never made it. But that would have been super amazing if they could have talked together. If we had just held on another year, if Jill had just done better, we would have this. But we'll never know. But I'll talk more about Corky in the next video. So thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any other questions about Qriket, please leave a comment below. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Keep it coming, and hopefully I can keep coming up with more content about these particular dolls. And I'll see you in the next video, to be continued. Bye for now.